Oops. Oh no. Oh no. What have I done? No. Spoilers. Oh no. Oh, this is a great start. Oh, there is so much jank. Oh, hello. Hi. So, hello. This is my little introductory stream to Lolita and Ouji fashion. It's something I've been into for quite some time, and I've been wanting to make a video on this sort of thing for a while now, so I thought I might as well start and do that. So my plan is for this to be like a little introductory guide if you're interested in Lolita or Ouji fashion and you want to get started but you don't really know how or where, and that's understandable because there's a lot of information. So hopefully this will be helpful. Just a little disclaimer, this is a mix of opinion and fact, so obviously take these tips with a grain of salt, and the point of these styles is at the end of the day just to have fun and feel cute. So don't worry about taking them too seriously, just do what you think will make you happy. So quickly, just gonna go over some basic terms before I really start. So Lolita fashion. It's a style originating in Japan. It's been around since the 90s and it got really popular in the mid-2010s, and it's kind of fading out now, which is kind of sad to me because I really like it, but hopefully I can bring it back, maybe. Oh, hi Sia! Hello! I'm doing a very official, very informational stream. I'm gonna edit this later and make a proper video, but streams, yes. But yes. But yeah, Lolita fashion, it started off in Japan as a sort of branch off of the trend of kind of, I don't remember the exact word for it, but it always gives me like House on the Prairie vibes. Something like that. Trying to, hopefully, maybe at some point. But yeah, it's inspired by like Victorian and Rococo sort of clothing, kind of mixed with the 50s and 60s. Kind of like the big poofy skirts, like the poodle skirts. That's kind of the type of skirt that's popular that, I'll get into detail on that later. Ouji fashion. Also disclaimer, I don't speak Japanese, so I might butcher all of these, but I'm doing my best. So Ouji literally just means prince. It was originally kind of a companion to Lolita. It's sometimes called boy style, and yeah, it just kind of started as a companion to Lolita fashion, and I think it's really cute. I think it deserves more attention, so I'm gonna be covering it a little bit in this little presentation too. A JSK is a jumper skirt. It's just a sleeveless dress with straps. You usually wear like a blouse or something under it. An OP, it's a one piece, not the anime. A dress with sleeves that doesn't need any sort of blouse. It's a good place to start if you're getting your first dress because it eliminates the need to have to worry about blouses. So you can just go ahead and get an OP and just go for accessories. OTKs are over-the-knee socks. It's literally just thigh-highs, but yes. Coordinate, it's usually shortened as cord, but it literally just means an outfit. AKC is short for Katyusha. Don't ask me why Katyusha got shortened to the letters KC, because there's no C in Katyusha, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. It's a super popular type of head bow. It's basically the sort of head bow you think of when you think of Lolita. I put a little picture one in the bottom right corner. I don't know if that's really a corner, but close enough. Then there's AATBP/BTSSB/AP. These are all abbreviations for some of the real popular brands. Some of these have been around since the 90s, since the really early days of the fashion. So these are like the high-end brands. So they're super popular. You'll likely see the names around a lot, but yeah. A print is in reference to like the fabric pattern, I guess. It's usually kind of used to refer to a set. So like when a brand releases a certain dress with like a certain pattern, they'll often release like matching head bows, matching tights, matching blouses, things like that. So, but yeah, the dress, the pattern, that's the print. And a colorway is literally just the color of a print. So you can have like Cat's Tea Party in the pink colorway, and that would be the pink version of the print Cat's Tea Party. So yes, introductory terms. Hopefully that'll make the rest of this a little easier to understand. Okay. Presentation. No. This presentation does not want to cooperate with me. Google Slides, why? Anyway, classic Lolita. This is one of the most popular. This is kind of where the style started. It's far from the only option. There's so many different styles you can go, but there's 3 main styles. If you're not sure what to do, they're good starting points. So classic Lolita, it's more traditionally Victorian. You can really see the influences. It can be super simple, like imagine imagine like Anna Green Gables going on a picnic to like Queen going to the ball. So there's a really big range in style. In classic, it's more so the like classic colors and the feel of the sort of era. Hopefully that makes sense. The prints are usually involved like flowers, paintings, like for some reason art galleries are really popular as a theme. Also like paintings and stained glass windows, books, ribbons, pearls, bows, lacy things, flowers. So like classical, like think of like an art gallery, think of classical paintings. I guess that's why art galleries are popular. But yeah, it's that sort of theme, those sorts of themes. Super, usually pretty chill in terms of colors, and yeah, the majority of Ouji is going to be classic, which is unfortunate for me because I really like sweet Ouji, but 99% of Ouji is going to be classic. So if you're into this sort of style, good for you. Some popular brands are Atelier Pierrot, Mary Magdalene, Leaf, my personal favorite. It's a Korean brand, highly recommend. Surface Spell, and Metamorphose, which you'll often see abbreviated as Meta. Some of these brands are on the more expensive end. On each of these slides, I kind of list a few brands. I would recommend them as references to get a sense of the style. Maybe not so much to shop from quite yet, but I'll also get to that later. Anyway, here are some examples of classic Lolita. On the left there, you can see one of the more simple dresses. This is sort of like old style, old school Lolita. Way back when it was first starting out, it was still fairly simple. And so most of the dresses were fairly plain, one color, but the silhouette has always been pretty consistent. The poofy dress, roughly knee length, and a blouse or sleeves of some sort. And as you go further to the right, you can kind of see them more fancy and a little bit more variation on classic. So the second one is like library theme. Yeah, it's just a cream one. The green one, so I included a purple one because I just wanted to show that classic colors and sweet colors do have overlap. Just because something is a typically sweet related color, sweet Lolita related color, doesn't mean it can't be used in classic. So this dress is sort of bordering between classic and sweet, but yes, I'd put it more on the classic side just because of the themes. It's more of like a naturey, chill theme, and it feels like you're going to like some sort of royal picnic. But yeah, that's classic Lolita. And here's some examples of classic Ouji. So it's all super simple, mostly black and white, a lot of black and white. And yeah, oftentimes it'll have like accents of color. It's not usually the most colorful style. But yeah, that's classic Ouji. It's like 90% of what you'll see. If you're into it, congratulations, you're very lucky. But yeah, sweet Lolita. So this is arguably the most popular style. Like, if you look up Lolita, like the first picture is going to be sweet Lolita. It usually involves pastels. Pink, blue, and pale yellow are really popular colors. It usually involves like cute animals, bows, hearts, sweets, pastries, candy, sweet things, cute things, stuff like that. It tends to lean towards the more like involved side, if that makes sense. Yes, baby fashion. And that kind of, so it started out with classic Lolita, and then sweet Lolita kind of happened because they were like, hey, let's make this cute. And so at that point, people could experiment with it more, have more fun with it. So a lot of sweet tends to be more elaborate. You don't really see a whole lot of simple sweet. And sweet Lolita actually kind of branched off and turned into OTT or Decora, depending on where you live. In Japan, they usually call it Decora. In the West, it's kind of either or, but they don't really call it OTT in Japan. OTT just stands for over the top, by the way, I forgot to mention. But yeah, it's just a style, it's just a variation of sweet with an absurd amount of accessories, and that's basically it. Some popular brands, some super popular brands, Angelic Pretty, Baby the Starshine Bright, Infanta. Probably don't shop from these yet, especially if you're just starting out. They're really expensive. Some of their dresses sell for like $500, so unless you're willing to spend that much on your first dress in a fashion you're just getting into, I guess go for it. I wouldn't recommend it though. I don't know. But yeah, it's super cutesy, super fun. I love it. I think it's super cute. But yeah, here's some examples of Sweet Lolita. On the left is kind of an example with less cutesy pastel colors and more cutesy themes. Yep, it is very expensive. About to get to that. So yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be pastel colors. It can be cute themes. Like on the left, the theme is like popcorn and a carnival. So it's super cute. You can tell it's cute, but it's not classic. This isn't like princessy ball ground picnic vibes. Yes. Who needs money when you can have cute dresses? In the middle, you see Cat's Tea Party, the legendary print by Angelic Pretty. Someday I will save up and own it. This is actually selling right now. There's a website called Lace Market, which is basically the eBay of Lolita. I will also get to Lace Market later. But someone's currently selling it on Lace Market. Both colorways, both pink and gray, for $550. And it's such a cute print. Someday I will own it, but it's a little bit out of my budget right now. So, super, super cute print, super popular. Although now that Lolita's dying off a little bit, I guess it'll probably go a bit down in value, which is maybe a good thing for me. And on the right is just kind of a typical cute classic, not classic, but like, you know what I mean. typical sweet Lolita outfit. Anyway, now I get to sweet Ouji, which is my personal favorite. It's the best, it's so heckin' cute, but it's so hard to find stuff. For some reason, I don't know why it's not more popular, because it's so cute. But yeah, this is sweet Ouji. It's very, very similar to sweet Lolita, just make it pants instead of like a skirt, I guess. I also, very important, I own the one in the middle. But yeah, it's just super cute, super cutesy pastels. In sweet Ouji, sailor themes are super, super popular. So like the sailor collars with the little rectangular part on the back. I can never remember what they're called, but it's like a sailor style thing. So it's on the left, the one all the way on the left has it, but I don't have a picture of the back here, so you can't really see. Anyway, so that was sweet Lolita. Gothic. This one's also super popular. Obviously, these are like the 3 biggest styles. But yeah, it's basically just what you think when you hear the word Gothic. Darker colors, like dark romance, vampires, and bats, and old abandoned churches, and things like that. It's very, very, very heavy on the color black. I actually think it would be cool if there was a little more black with, like, color. Just because that's Gothic too, but I guess I know a lot of people just like black. But yeah, it has a very wide range, more similar to classic, where it can be super simple or super detailed. Yeah, it's great. It's the best. I love all these fashions, in case that wasn't obvious. Yes, black and gold is so good. But yeah, a super wide range. There's lots of pearls and like crosses and like not rosaries, but like necklaces that look like rosaries. It's like I guess just beaded necklaces with crosses on them. But yeah, like religious symbols, bats, ghosts, haunted things, creepy things, spooky. That's all super, super popular. Popular brands. I forgot to look up how to pronounce this one. I've never known how to pronounce this one. I've only ever read it. Oh no. I'm just gonna call it Meme. Yes. Anyway, it's called Meme now. So Meme, Alice and the Pirates, and Atelier Pierrot are all super, super popular brands. They're great places to look if you want a better sense of the style. Or you can just Google image search Gothic Lolita. That's pretty decent too. Anyway, some examples. I included one on the right that's all black with some silver and gold jewelry, I think. I think it's silver. I think it's silver. I made the picture too small, that's my fault. But, and I purposefully included some that were not just all black. They've got some purple, they've got some blue, and they're still clearly very much Gothic. You can tell. And then Gothic Ouji. This one's also not too hard to find. I'd say in order of difficulty, it's kind of like classic, Gothic, and then sweet. Which, like, why is there not more sweet? Sweet Ouji is the best. Anyway. But yeah, it's a companion to Gothic Lolita. It's Gothic, crosses, bats, that sort of thing. Same as before, dark colors with accents. But yeah. So that's kind of a quick overview of the 3 main styles. It's usually a good place to start if you're not really sure what you like yet. You can kind of look at these 3 and be like, oh, yeah, I think I want to lean in this direction for my first dress. Because you have to remember, it's just your first dress. Like, you really, really don't end up liking it, you can sell it. You can sell it, you can buy a new dress. It's not a problem. Trust me, there are people still looking for dresses, or you can just give your dress to me, that works too. But yes, Also, just covering some other styles real quick. Those three are a really good place to start, but once you've got a starting point, it can be really fun to branch out. So Hime is super, super popular. It's a type of classic, but it literally just means princess. It's super heavy on the princessy themes. Crowns, tiaras, frills, ruffles, all that sorts of good royal cutesy stuff. Goro Lolita, just gore, horror themes. Nurses are super popular, so that's like a thing that a lot of people do. Military, you might not you might not be able to tell just looking at me, but I really like military Lolita. I think it looks really cool. But one thing I will say about military Lolita is you should be careful. Look at the imagery, because a lot of the brands that are more accessible for beginners tend to be based in countries that didn't have as much to do with Western wars, and so they might not fully understand the the implications of some symbols. So be careful, just double check everything, cause yeah, just a little heads up. It's super cool style though, I love it, it's great, it's super fun. Punk Lolita is kind of the least Lolita of the Lolitas, I'd say. So, yep. It's, I guess, just punk, but make it Lolita, like plaid, black, leather, things like that. But yeah, Ki and Han Lolita and Wa Lolita. So Ki and Han are based on different styles of traditional Chinese clothing, and Wa is based on kimono. And they're both super pretty. They're really great, especially if you want to have a more refined, elegant vibe. And yes, don't wear symbols if you don't know what they mean. I can talk. Wow, I put punk on here twice. I literally saw this yesterday, then I just never fixed it. Anyway, country Lolita, not country music, countryside. So it's like straw hats. Like imagine you're going on a picnic with like a cute blue plaid dress and a straw hat and like a picnic basket, and you're gonna go skip into the woods or something. Maybe not into the woods, but you know what I mean. But yeah, it's super cute. Decora I kind of covered earlier. I put a picture in the bottom right just because I wanted to have a visual of what it looks like. Again, it's basically sweet, but if you add like 10 times the accessories. Anyway, so yes, the silhouette. The silhouette is kind of the most important part of Lolita. It's pretty much what makes it what it is. There's the knee-length poofy skirt. There's some sort of blouse or long sleeve thing or short sleeves, just like cute ruffly sleeves. Some sort of headpiece. And usually some sort of leg wear. There's... yeah, so the notes I made, poofy, roughly knee-length dress or skirt. Petticoat should not be longer than the skirt. There are underskirts, so you can have like underskirts and things that purposefully show, but like if it's just a plain old regular petticoat, it probably shouldn't show out if you want to keep the aesthetic, I guess. Some sort of sleeve, whether it's a blouse or part of a dress, and it's super, super, like, stereotypically feminine. It's very stereotypically feminine. Anyway, Ouji, it's a lot more flexible. You can do long, short pants, you can go super simple, you can go super elaborate, you can have poofy pants, straight pants, short pants, you can do pretty much anything, as long as it's pants. That's, like, the one requirement. Vests or suit coats are popular. You can also just wear like a plain old blouse though, and it looks just as good. If you can wear a big ruffly collar, those are super popular, and you're good to go. You don't have to, but it'll make it a lot easier to style. But yeah, that's the silhouette. So now you've seen the styles, you kind of have an idea of where you want to go with your wardrobe. So where do you go? First, you're going to need a petticoat. So you've chosen a style. There's two types of petticoats. There's A-line petticoats, and there's cupcake or bell petticoats. It's honestly just dependent on what the person calls them. Different dresses have different shapes. So if you've been shopping around, you found a dress you really like or a skirt, that skirt is going to have a specific shape. It's going to be bell or cupcake, or it's going to be A-line. And the way you find that out is by looking at the pictures from the the brand. There we go. The official pictures of it. So A is more of a straight shape. It's going to be more of a straight line. Think like A-frame house, I guess. So the one on the right is a good example. Both of these are very exaggerated examples. They don't need to be this level of curvy or straight, but I thought it would make it a little bit easier to tell the difference if I did this. So yeah, the A-line shape is super popular in Gothic and Classic Lolita. The cupcake is more common in Sweet, but it's also popular in the other styles as well. So you're going to want to look at your skirt, the skirt of your dress, or just skirt, and you're going to look at the shape, and that's how you're going to be able to tell if it's rounded, it's going to be bell shape. If it's straight down, it's going to be A-line. Blech. Wow, I'm really struggling to talk. I had a long day. So for Gothic, oh yeah, it's also going to matter what color petticoat you get. So Gothic, you're probably going to want black or white petticoats. For Sweet, you're going to want pink or white. And for Classic, you're going to want a white petticoat, most likely. Obviously, once you're more comfortable with the style, you can change this. You don't have to follow these rules exactly, but they're a good starting point if you're new to the style. So, you've got your petticoat. Shape. Now you're going to have to decide what sort of fabric petticoat you want. This gets involved. So, there's 3 main fabrics that people tend to wear. There's voile, organza, and tulle. So voile and organza are kind of the most popular. If you're not sure after this, if I read all this and you're just confused at the end, just go with organza. It's the safe bet. But so voile, it's kind of the most loose and flowy option. It's also the softest, so if you've got more sensitive skin, it's a good choice. The only real downsides is that it's not nearly as stiff as the other options, and its poof is dependent entirely on how many layers there are. So you're going to want a lot of layers if you want a lot of poof. It's also going to be a little bit heavier and warmer just because of all the layers. So, but even if you store it not so great in a compressed space, it's not going to deflate because it depends on the layers. It doesn't depend on the stiffness. So it's a very good long-term, fairly hardy style or fabric choice. Okay. So yes. And at the bottom I included little pictures of each one just to give a kind of visual of the texture of the fabric. I guess you can kind of see voile is very soft and flowy. And yeah, the poof's gonna entirely depend upon how many layers there are. So organza, it's the middle of the road. It's a good choice if you're not sure what to get. It's fairly stiff and it gives a good amount of poof. It's shimmery, it looks pretty, but it's a little bit more delicate. So you're gonna want to be more careful, and it does have the possibility to slowly deflate a little bit over time and lose its poof a little bit. But it's a good option. It's still fairly soft, so unless you've got real sensitive skin, you're probably gonna be fine. But yeah, tulle. Tulle you gotta be careful with, because cheap, like, Party City petticoats, they're made of tulle. So, if you see a tulle petticoat there's a good chance it's gonna be really low quality, unfortunately. But it's the stiffest option, it'll give you the most poof, and it's very, very light. Because it's so stiff, it'll require a lot less fabric to get the same amount of poof. The downside is it will be more prone to deflation, and it's not nearly as soft. It's actually a little bit scratchy. I don't know if you felt like a kids tutu before, or like the kids princess dresses. Those are usually made out of tulle. So it's not the softest material, but it's good if you want a lot of poof, and it's usually on the cheaper side. So, but yeah, if you don't know which one to go with, just go with organza, it's good. Anyway, legwear. So, then you're gonna want to start looking at legwear. There's a whole ton of options. So the most popular, I'd say, is probably tights, just because you throw them on, and you don't have to worry about them falling down, you don't have to worry about, much. You just put them on. And then you don't have to think about them. Knee highs and OTKs can slip down throughout the day and stuff like that. So, yeah. Socks can be good too, but I don't know, it's just not as much interest added to the design because it ends at the ankle, so it'll be like a cute little ruffle around the ankle, and then the rest of your legs will just be bare. But a good place to start with stockings is choosing ones that are just one color. So they're very versatile, and even if you're not 100% sure yet what you like, they'll be able to fit with most anything. White stockings or black if you're into gothic are pretty universal, even if you end up switching over. Like, black stockings will still work for classic, and white stockings will still work for gothic. And sweet, I guess black stockings don't really work for sweet, with some exceptions, but they're all pretty versatile. Anyway, bigger brands like AP, like Angelic Pretty, so the real big brands, they tend to release tights that match their prints. So if you've got a little bit more money to spend on one of the bigger brands, they'll often release tights that just match to the pattern. So you don't have to worry about matching colors and things like that. It's very handy. Thermal leggings. Pro tip, if you live in a colder climate, these are amazing. Thermal leggings are the best. You can usually find them in most skin colors, where I live anyway, because they are usually used by figure skaters, and they're meant to match your skin color. So, basically, you just wear them underneath whatever else you're wearing. They're hard to notice because they are meant to match your skin, assuming you can find some, which hopefully you can. If you have darker skin tones, you should still be able to find them. They definitely make them. They're just going to be a bit harder to find, unfortunately, as products for people with darker skin tones tend to be. But that's a whole different issue. Anyway, thermal leggings. They're awesome. They're great. You can wear them under OTKs, which is my personal favorite. The OTKs tend to slip down less easily, I've noticed, with thermal leggings, but that's just the ones I have, I guess. I don't know if that happens with all. I'll have to do some experimenting. But they're awesome. They'll keep your legs warm. You can wear Lolita even if it's, like, freezing out. Because they're literally meant for figure skaters. It's awesome. It's great. Highly, highly recommend investing in a pair. So, gothic, good place to start is black or white. Sweet, pink or white. Classic, white is usually a safe bet. And yeah. So, for legwear, I'd say like 2 pairs of tights are probably a good start for a wardrobe, or a few different socks. And again, if you're in a cold area, I'd highly recommend getting at least 1 pair of thermal leggings. I have 2 and it's the best. It gets super, super, super cold where I live, so it lets me dress up cute even when it's like 30 below freezing. Fahrenheit or Celsius, because at that point it evens out. Anyway, blouses. Blouses are super heckin' important. Unless you have an OP, in which case you'll worry about them later. But blouses. Long sleeve, short sleeve. One thing I will say to keep an eye out for is that blouses are usually transparent, so they're usually meant to be worn under dresses. So, if you have a skirt, make sure to look specifically for blouses that are not transparent. They're a little bit harder to find just because, like, transparent blouses are kind of the default. But they're not hard to find, they're just less common, I guess. But yeah, and there's also blouses that cut off, like, shortly above the waist that are specifically meant for dresses. And they're usually a little bit cheaper just because, like, less fabric. So they can be a good choice. It's a great place to kind of splurge. Get a bunch of different blouses, get different colors. Just changing the color of a blouse can completely change the look of a dress, even if you only have one dress. Just wear different blouses, it'll be great. And thermal blouses exist. They're great, they work great. You won't be freezing, it's very nice. But yeah, for Gothic, you're gonna want black or white blouses. Sweet Lolita, for once, something different than just pink and white. Baby blue blouses. Super common, fit with most dresses, it's great. Classic Lolita, white. Most of classic Lolita is gonna fit with a white blouse, so it's a really good safe bet when you're first starting out your wardrobe. But if your first dress is an OP, so one with sleeves, you do not need a blouse, so you can worry about that later. Shoes. Get one pair of shoes. You can worry about getting heels and fancy platform shoes and all that stuff later. When you're starting out, just get one. You've got a lot of options. And that one pair of shoes is going to fit really well with anything else you wear. So, kind of a good place to start is Mary Jane's. They're super popular. It's kind of, if you don't know what they are, it's what you think of when you hear, like, schoolgirl shoes, I guess, in the West. They're the top picture, they're the black ones. Those are Mary Jane's with bows on them. It's just a super simple shoe with a strap, but you can get them in, like, all sorts of different colors. You can get them with bows, you can get them with ruffles, you can get heeled versions, and there's a whole ton of different options. You can get them to match your dress, you can get them, yeah, you can get all sorts of different options for them, so they're a really, really good place to start. They're super versatile shoes, and they'll fit with almost anything. And they will fit with any style. You can get a black pair of Mary Jane's. They will fit with Gothic, Classic, or Sweet. Anyway, rocking horse shoes. I don't like them, to be honest, but they were super, super popular for a while, so I thought I should mention them. Basically, they've just got a big wooden-looking platform, like a rocking horse. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say. Go look them up if you want to know what they are. Platform shoes. Platform shoes can be super, super cute in the right context. Like, they're gonna look a little bit weird in classic Lolita, but in Gothic Lolita, or Sweet Lolita, or Ouji, they're gonna look super cute. They look really, really, really good with, Sweet Ouji if you get, like, platform Converse or something like that. Yes, Converse can be worn with Ouji. Just don't wear them with Lolita, it looks weird. Or I guess you can wear it if you want. I don't know. It just doesn't really fit the style, I suppose. Anyway, point is, platform shoes, great. School shoes. They're technically called loafers in the West, but like Japanese school shoes, I guess. Just like the slip ones. Black or brown ones fit with almost any Ouji outfit, no matter the style. Super, super versatile. I'd say they're the kind of the Ouji equivalent to Mary Jane's. And heels. Heels are great in Ouji and Lolita. It's called boy style. You can still wear heels. It's great. Wear heels. Yes. And so yeah, for gothic, you're probably going to black shoes, classic, black, white, or a shoe that fits your dress color. So when I started out, my first dress was the white colorway of Leaf's Matryoshka print, and that dress is super cute, but it has a lot of red, blue, yellow, and white. So when I was looking for shoes, I was originally planning on getting either red or white. I ended up going with red because I felt it gave the outfit more of a classic look, and because at the time I was mainly into classic. Red is a good color for classic. A lot of classic dresses use red, and it's still one of the most versatile pairs of shoes I have. I still have it, and it fits with, I'd say, most of my dresses, actually. So yeah, it's just a red pair of Mary Janes. Nothing fancy to them, and they fit with pretty much any dress I have. So yeah, matching a color in your dress that you also think is going to appear in other dresses you get. Like, if you like a certain color a lot and you think other dresses, I'm probably going to end up getting this color as well, that's a pretty good place. That's a pretty good way to pick a color for your shoes. And for sweet, white, pink, and black. Anyway, accessories. So, you can never have too many accessories. You can go to the thrift store and pick up, I don't know, like some old hair clips or something. Just disinfect them first. But yeah, you can go crazy with your accessories. You can completely change the feel of an outfit with the accessories. Just wear whatever. So wrist cuffs, top left, they're cute. They add a little bit interest, especially if you have short blouse sleeves, or your OP has short sleeves. Wrist cuffs can be super cute and add a little bit more interest to the outfit. The classic jewelry, necklaces, earrings, bracelets, rings, headwear, head bows, hats, mini hats, bonnets, hair clips. In Sweet Lolita, berets are super, super popular. I'd say mini hats are more common in classic and gothic Lolita, but yeah, they're all really, really solid choices, and they'll all fit in any style. You just gotta find the right feel and the right vibe, and get it all to look how you want. Again, the style's just about having fun at the end of the day. Brooches and pins. Brooches and pins are also super, super, super popular. I honestly don't wear them as much just because I'm very picky about them. But a lot of brands release brooches and pins to match their prints. So they can be a good place to start. Is if a brand has released a pin or a brooch for that specific print, grabbing that can be a good idea because it'll just add a little bit more to your outfit. Chokers, rosary-like necklaces, flower crowns, witch hats, things like that are super popular in gothic, like mini hats with roses on them, things like that. Bonnets, bead bracelets, colorful hair clips, armbands, sashes, things like that are super popular and sweet. Bonnets, wrist cuffs, accessories with pearls, lots of pearls. Lots of pearls necklaces, lots of pearl bracelets, things like that are super, super popular in classic. And I quickly wanted to mention wigs. Wigs are super, super common in this style. Like 90% of the time, if you look at a picture, they'll be wearing a wig in that picture. So they're pretty much a default, honestly. I have one wig, which is actually pretty unusual for someone who's into these styles. But yeah, for Ouji, there's a little bit less necessity for wigs, But a lot of the time for Lolita, especially for Sweet Lolita, you want like super poofy, over-the-top ponytails. Like, you're not going to be able to do that with your real hair, so you get a cute wig. But yes, outerwear. This isn't that big of a priority unless you live in a chillier climate, in which case this is going to be something you want to prioritize. But yes, boleros, coats, sweaters, capes are super popular. You're going to want to consider where you live, because like getting a coat, you're just going to be sweating if you live somewhere warm. A bolero might be a better idea. It's kind of like a mini sweater. It doesn't like close all the way on the front, and it's just something to kind of keep you a little bit warmer if it's breezy out. But yeah, I just put some examples on the side of different styles. The bottom one is like a very typical example of an elegant classic Lolita bolero / cape thing. And then Sweet Lolita, classic Lolita. The bottom could also be used for gothic in the right context. You could do like a vampire look. That would be cute. But yeah. So yes, choosing your first items. You settle on a style you like, or you can choose a piece you really like and work around that. If you are having a hard time choosing, oh, I want to go entirely focus on Sweet, you're not entirely sure you want to dedicate yourself entirely to one style, what you can do is you choose a piece you like, and then just build around that and work from there and figure out where your wardrobe ends up. OPs are also a really good place to start if you're not really sure what to look for when it comes to blouses. You don't need a blouse if you're wearing OP. You can just wear the OP. It's great. But yeah, to start with, just get one main item. Just get one dress or skirt or like pants and top set or whatever. Just get one. You don't need more yet. You can get those later. I know it's tempting, but you don't need them yet. Color. I don't know how much this is going to apply to other people, but when I started out with Lolita, I was super, super nervous that I would pick a color or a dress that wouldn't really suit me, but like, people tend to be drawn to colors that suit them a lot of the time. And it's gonna be like, you're not gonna buy a dress that looks bad on you. Like, people don't really seem to pick out colors that don't suit them, so like, don't worry about that. Just get the colors you like and it'll look great on you. That was the point of that. The colors you like are gonna look good on you. Go for it. But yeah, using the references on the slides are also a good start. If you're looking for blouses and you don't know what color to look for, again, if you go back and look at the slides, those are good. Prioritize accessories and legwear and then blouses. I'd say go crazy on accessories, get a few different options for legwear, and then like 2 blouses. But again, at the end of the day, the point of this is to have fun with it and just do what makes you feel cute. So, now you know all this ridiculous amount of information. You are wondering, well, where do I get these? So, I have gathered some examples. Don't. It's super tempting. But for your first outfit, I would not recommend going for a big name brand company, I suppose. Like Baby the Star Shine Bright. Their outfits are super, super, super cute, especially if you're into Sweet Lolita. As tempting as it is, maybe spending $300 on your first dress is not the way to go. So start small. Start with Taobao. Start with someone on Etsy. Start with someone from Lace Market. I'll explain those all later. Well, in a second, I guess. But yeah, start small. Also, Milanu, it's a scam, by the way. Just don't shop from there. Okay, places that are good to shop from. My personal favorite is a website called Devil Inspired. It's so Taobao. I'm gonna jump ahead to that for a second. Taobao is a Chinese online shopping website service thingy, and people can kind of open their own shops on there and sell things, kind of like if you combined Etsy and Amazon, I guess, is probably the best comparison. But basically, a lot of really, really cool indie brands sell off of Taobao. The thing is, Taobao is based in China, and unless you're living in China or somewhere close to China, it's kind of hard to get stuff shipped from Taobao. I'm actually not sure if they even ship outside of China, but point is, Devil Inspired. They sell brands from Taobao. So what they do is they buy brands from Taobao, and then they resell them at a slightly higher price. Blech. So yes, they're marked up a little bit, but it's better than not being able to get them at all. And it's a very reliable website. Their customer service is pretty good. I've never had an issue with them. It's my personal favorite place to shop. Lace Market. Lace Market is also a really, really good option. It's basically eBay for Lolita clothing. It's where people can sell their old dresses or blouses or whatever that they don't wear anymore. And obviously, like eBay, you want to look at the seller, make sure they're reliable, look at the look at the condition of the dress or skirt or whatever. Make sure it's within your expectations, I guess. But other than that, it's a pretty good place to shop. So yeah, Taobao. You can't really directly buy from Taobao unless you live in China, but what you can do is you can go through a Taobao reseller. It's usually a little bit cheaper than going through a website like Devil Inspired. But you're going to want to look at different ones, you're going to want to vet them a little bit, see what other people say about them, and make sure you find a reliable one. There was a really, really good one I used to use, but unfortunately they stopped doing their service selling thingy. So that was sad. So now I just buy from Lace Market and Devil Inspired. But if you can find a good, reliable Taobao seller, that's a really great way to get clothing. Etsy. There are a lot of really cool sellers on Etsy. They make their own dresses and petticoats and all sorts of stuff. Obviously, again, like, look at it, make sure you like it, make sure it looks like good quality, look at the reviews and all that stuff as you normally would when purchasing anything. But Etsy's a good place to shop. And Lolita Wardrobe. I've never personally had an issue with them, but I have heard people have had issues with their customer service in the past. So I guess use with caution. So I've personally never had any bad experiences with them, and I have ordered from them like once or twice. But again, I have heard stories, so make your own judgment there. And Bodyline. So I'm not gonna go into detail about Bodyline right now, but let's just say they've got quite the history. They've been around for a while, and their old owner was a little odd. He doesn't seem to be in charge anymore, if I remember correctly. And quality has definitely gone up. It actually started originally as a lingerie store, and they eventually started selling like Lolita clothing and costumey stuff. So you want to be careful that you're staying on the Lolita side of Bodyline and not the costumey side. It's a mistake a lot of beginners make, is getting these costumey Lolita dresses. They're super frilly, but it's like super low quality lace, super cheap. There's like this one stereotypical like black maid dress that's usually used as the picture. And there's nothing wrong with like maid inspired Lolita, but it's that specific dress with like super cheap lace, super low quality, probably gonna fall apart after the first wash. that sort of like, I don't know, Wish.com vibes. But Bodyline in recent years has definitely gone up in quality. So while I wouldn't recommend getting a dress there, they can be good for getting things like shoes or tights or petticoats. So they're a very affordable place to get small little detailed things like that. And eBay. I've heard stories of people getting some really, really cool stuff off eBay. And it is a good place to shop. But again, as with any reselling website, you want to be careful. Since eBay isn't specifically dedicated to the fashion, you do also want to make sure what you're getting is actually Lolita and not just like a costume. So yeah. So you want to be very careful on eBay. I would highly recommend sticking to the top few. But yeah. Oh, also, I forgot to put it on here, but I did want to mention there's a petticoat maker called Me Likes Tea. She makes super great quality petticoats. It's actually where I got my first petticoat, and it's still going strong, but it's a good place to shop. Would recommend. Good quality petticoat. She also makes like overskirts and things like that, or underskirts, sorry. They go over the petticoat but under your dress, and it like adds a little frilly edge to the bottom. She makes blouses now, I think, too, but it's a good place to shop. It's a little bit more expensive just because it is all handmade, but you can be certain that it's good quality. So, yes, that was more or less my presentation. Thank you. Oh, wait, no, wait, I forgot Ita. Okay, Ita. So, in recent years, the Ita bag has become very, very popular. Basically, it's a bag where you have like a clear window in the front and you put a bunch of pins and things in. So yeah, that's been super popular. But the word comes from this, like, Lolita Ita. Ita is basically like the Japanese equivalent of ouch. Like, ooh, ow, kind of thing. So, it's basically like what happens if you accidentally get something that's super, super costumey and ruffly and cheap looking and low quality. So don't be an Ita. Don't do that. It's not that hard. Just don't get like cheap costume quality stuff. And that's all you gotta do. But yes. But yeah, that was my presentation. Thank you for coming. Hopefully that helped kind of give an introduction to Lolita. Hopefully you've got a better idea of how to get started if you were interested in this, or if you were just watching for fun. Thank you. But yeah, at the end of the day, both of these styles, Ouji and Lolita, they're just for fun. They're to dress up and feel good about yourself, to feel cute or elegant or princessy or however. And it's just fun. They're fun styles, and that's all that matters at the end of the day, is that you're feeling good about yourself and that you're having fun. So yeah. But did I say everything I wanted to say? I think so. Maybe later I'll forget. I'll remember like 5 different things I forgot to mention and regret, but I can worry about that later. Anyway, thank you for coming to my presentation. Hopefully you learned a little bit. Hopefully this will help you getting started in your clothing, fashion, whatever journey. In the future, I plan to make more like properly edited videos in relation to these sorts of styles. I really want to make fashion related content specifically for some of these sorts of J-fashion street styles and things like that. Again, I've been wearing Lolita since its heyday back in like 2015, I think. I don't know. I've been wearing this style for a while, but it's just always been a really fun. It's always been a place of Wow, I'm really struggling to talk today. It's always been a source of happiness for me. Just dressing up just makes me feel happy, and I guess, like, I hope I can share that, because it's so much fun. And if you don't, then I will kidnap you and force you to dress up cute with me. Yes. But yeah. Hopefully you're now comfortable enough to get started in this fashion, and I'm trying. I feel like I'm forgetting something. I'm probably not forgetting anything. I don't know. Am I forgetting something? I'm sure I'm forgetting something. Anyway, thank you. Hope you have a good time in your journey with Lolita. Also, I want this outfit on the right. I already have the one on the left. But yeah. Thank you for coming. And good luck on your journey. If you're watching this in the future and you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I am happy to answer questions. I love talking about these styles. They make me super happy. So, leave all your questions in the comments. Or, I guess, DM me on Twitter or something. If you need, like, outfit advice, just message me. Please let me help you with your outfits. It's fun. But yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.